Well, if you're hitting the stores this weekend and you're fueling your shopping spree with a large coffee, you might want to replace what's in the cup.
Yeah, for a long time, healthcare experts have suggested coffee alternatives that will give you an extra boost with an extra dose of health. So here with some ideas is Bella Magazine editor-in-chief Vanessa Coppes. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
All right, so Vanessa, what's the reason that some health experts suggest replacing coffee with other caffeinated drinks?
So some people are really great at metabolizing caffeine and others really are not. And they get what are called, as we know, as the jitters, right? They get nervousness, and it actually also can affect digestion. It'll give people sometimes the runs. And this is why it's a great way to find some other alternatives where you can get a little boost of energy, and they're actually even healthier for you.
All right, that did not sound fun what you were talking about there. All right, let's talk about these ideas to give us a little caffeine boost off the crash, or the other stuff.
Yeah, the first one is, and I'm sure we've all heard of it, is honey lime in warm water. I'm using my trusty Capresso rapid kettle here to boil the water. It actually has 4 different speeds to help you really get that water boiling very quickly. And I've already poured the honey here, and I'm going to squirt about a teaspoon of lemon juice and add warm water. And what this does is it gives you an immediate boost to your metabolism. It actually helps reduce inflammation, clears up your skin, detoxifies, and it helps build immunity, which is so important now that in the high flu season.
Oh, it probably helps with digestion too, with the lemon and everything.
Yes, it totally does. But above all, inflammation and immunity. I suffer from severe digestive issues, so I'm always looking for alternatives, and this is my go-to every morning before I actually have my cup of coffee.
Okay, so Vanessa, what about matcha latte? That's a favorite for a lot of people nowadays.
So matcha became like really trendy a couple of years ago, and believe it or not, the matcha tea, the matcha leaves contain all of the nutrients of the entire green tea leaf. It protects the liver, it promotes heart health, and it also aids in weight loss. So you might as well get your matcha on. I happen to just have this. It has the measuring cup. I'm going to use here the Rowesley frother, which is something that you can use at home also very quickly for your quick brew. I heated up this milk already, which is not milk, which is a dairy alternative for those of us with digestive issues. And honestly, I believe matcha to be deliver a more powerful punch than coffee. I have at least 2 cups of matcha a day, just because I'm very health conscious and weight conscious. And it's quite honestly delicious.
All right.
I'll just say I've tried matcha before. I disagree on being delicious, but look.
You know, in my office, there's like a 50-50. One of my colleagues says it tastes like spinach. I'll give her that. But I happen to really enjoy it.
Okay. All right. Turmeric latte. How do you make that?
So turmeric has a really important ingredient, which is curcumin. When curcumin is added to your latte, and what it needs for it to activate is actually something high in fat. So you may want to have it with a meal that's high in fat, or you can add, which I just did here, a teaspoon of coconut oil that will froth and melt right into this Capresso milk frother that mixes everything for you, so you don't even have to do the work. You add 1 teaspoon of turmeric to the mix, and you'll have an incredibly nutritious drink on the go, which aids with inflammation, also increases brain function, and it's really highly recommended for people who suffer from arthritis. It really helps, with the inflammation of the joints and digestion as well.
All right, so Vanessa, this next one, I never really thought about it giving you an actual boost of energy, but you say a protein drink. What is your go-to?
So I just recently learned about this brand a few months ago, and I have to tell you, OWYN, which literally stands for only what you need, contains the entire probiotic amount that you need for the day. It contains superfood like greens and Vega omega-3s, and it could actually substitute your meal, a meal. This is great for, after a workout or if you're in between snacks, in between meals, and super healthy. It tastes just like a cold brew, and you're getting practically a 2-in-1 in a bottle.
Okay, cool. And then, look, the old standard is tea, right? You just get a little tea bag and you make some tea.
Yeah, whether it's green, white, or black. I actually found this brand, Ilola tea. These tea discs come already compacted and ready to boil. Once you steep the tea, it contains everything that you need. I happen to enjoy an iced tea more than a hot tea in this case, so I went ahead and I did it here. Brewed it in the iced tea maker, but it also delivers the same amount of nutritious value, like preventing different types of cancer, clogging of arteries, helps burn fat, and counteracts stress on the brain.
All right. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these tips. Good to know.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And to see more of Vanessa's tips, you can follow her on Instagram at Vanessa Coppes.